The Oilers back in their place. Rexall place for Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. On OLN, they are dressed in blue. Anaheim in the visiting white. Chris Pronger, who's averaging better than 30 minutes per contest in the first couple of outings and throughout this playoff spring, gets the start defensively. Scott Niedermayer, his counterpart, working with Francois Beauchemin as Chris Kunitz scales in. Teemu Selanne said that this top line would be a threat tonight. He almost guaranteed it. And he is immediately roughed up by the captain of the Oilers, Jason Smith. Back through center, Fernando Pisani. Cut off by Kunitz. Kunitz and Selanne and McDonald. Neil, for them to be effective, what do they need to do tonight?
Well, they've just got to make sure that they keep control of the puck. They've got to, and get the rubber on the net. They didn't get enough shots through in Game 2 especially.
Along the wall, the Oilers making a break for it. Sean Horkoff, and this is a 2-on-1 with Harvey. Harvey back check well. Well done there. Getting into position by the former Oiler, Todd Marchand. Ryan Smith hooks one right through the paint. And Dustin Penner will charge back through center. Joffrey Lupul, native of Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. Just a couple minutes down the road from here at Rexall Place. Friends and family throughout the seats tonight. Dumped in by Harvey. Brizgalov giving the flight plan for Ruslan Saleh. He didn't get it out. The first chance, but will on the second. We're into the second minute of a scoreless first period on OLN. Harvey at the tail end of his shift needs the line change. At the other end, it's Penner behind the D. Fires, and Rolison makes the early stop.
That was a great chance for the Ducks. A quick turnaround, and Penner almost had a breakaway.
Big Dustin Penner, 240 pounds, a left winger, throws it to the front. It's loose. Rob Niedermayer jammed it wide. Once again, the Oilers getting the early breaks. Garrett Stoll stepping to the inside on Beauchemin. Triple teamed in the corner as Scott Niedermayer was on patrol. Dustin Penner for the Ducks, looping it back over the head of Bergeron, who's back in the lineup after missing Game 2 with the flu. Friesen out there with Corey Perry right now. And Sammy Paulson. Joe DePenta bangs it off the dasher and onto the Edmonton side. The shots on goal story early, favoring Anaheim, 4-zip. Green lumbers back through center. Brizgalov keeps it moving. DePenta getting support from Getzlaf, and he finds the 21-year-old rookie Perry. It ricochets off of Friesen, and Dwayne Rolison wants to slow things down. Neil, there's been some thought that Coach Carlisle would push Penner up to the top line, or perhaps reunite him with Getzlaf and Corey Perry tonight. Right off the draw, Fedoruk and Larocque drop the gloves. Roundhouse left and uppercut right. And Larocque wrestles Fedoruk down.
Right off of the face-off, the puck is dropped, and over to the right of your screen, there goes the big boys. But as I was saying, Joe, the Ducks have gotten the momentum right off the bat because what they've done is they've waited for these exuberant Oilers to make a mistake. They've already got 4 shots on Rolison. We didn't see that in games 1 and 2.
Selanne skipping out of the corner. Wrist shot was blocked in front. Sean Horkoff was there for Edmonton. Fernando Pisani leads the Oilers in goals this spring, and all of a sudden we're hearing those names like Chris Kontos and John Druce again, as Rolison shrugs away another bid and has company with Marchand right there in the crease. And the physical nature of Game 3 is plainly evident.
Well, Dwayne Rolison's not happy about what went on in his crease, but he doesn't understand because he was looking down at the puck that this was not an oncoming duck that caused this. This was actually the Oilers pushing Marchand on top. As we see now, another little scuffle going on in front between the captain, Jason Smith, and big Dustin Penner.
Bob Harwood is at rinkside, and he's also aware of Larocque and his enforcer-type tendencies. Bob.
It's almost as if Billy and I had a meeting and said to each other, let's talk to the guys who are going to drop the gloves early. By pure coincidence, not great reporting instincts. I did spend a few minutes with George Laratte today, fellas, and talked to him about what he expected in terms of physical play. He said they have to show this kind of desperation and initiate on the road. As a guy who drops the gloves or who sets the tone with big body checks, he always expects it to be in his face early on. We saw a lot of that in Game 2, where he was the pursuer to send a message. He thought some Anaheim sticks were coming high. He knew what his role was going to be early tonight.
And some high hits too, Bob, from Vitaly Vishnevsky. We'll see how that plays out in Game 3. Checking the ice surface. It is Edmonton skating 5-on-4 here with a manpower advantage. The game's first power play. Looking for the opening tally is Ryan Smith. Smith will reverse for Yaroslav Spacek. Spacek guides it on for Bergeron, who led the Edmonton defense scoring goals this season with 15, and more than half were via the power play. Smith collared by Rob Niedermeyer. Bergeron at point position. Can't elude the grasp of Paulson. Scott Niedermeyer channels it ahead, and it's a 2-on-1. He rips it wide. Scott Niedermeyer and brother Rob, and the ricochet winds up off the rink.
Scott Niedermeyer ripped this one just wide, a shot just off to the side. I'm not sure if that went off of Spacek or not. However, this ice is so much better than what they had in Southern California. Not to demean what they had in Southern California. Obviously, climates are different, and nobody's ice compares to Edmonton. But for the Ducks, who are also a skating team, this is just as much as an advantage as it is for Edmonton.
Ryan Getzlaf down the wing. Getzlaf cutting to the middle. Didn't get the good shot away. Spacek was in that shooting lane, and then Getzlaf will take it for a ride.
And there's exactly what I was talking about, Joe. Young Ryan Getzlaf, 20 years old, can skate like the wind. Look at that. He looked like he was on a river going up and down with that puck, having complete confidence on the good ice.
Neil, I can understand the ice being good when it's 20 below outside. How about 70 degrees and humid like it was today?
This ice never comes out, and it's rarely, rarely used for other things. So therefore, the ice is kept so much better, and these people are really ice experts here. This is where Dan Craig comes from, who was commissioned by the National Hockey League to look after ice throughout the 30 buildings.
Sammy Paulson lining up on Horkoff. Final 14 seconds of an Edmonton power play, and Rob Niedermeyer will send him packing. Still, the Oilers looking for their first shot on Ilya Bryzgalov.
And haven't been able to set up at all on this power play. In fact, this has basically looked like a 4-on-4. You wonder if the Oilers realize that they're on the power play.
The Oiler power play during the regular season, just over 18% effective. A little bit better in the postseason. As it's cleared all the way back, it'll come the length. As it's touched up by Bergeron, linesman Shara says icing, and the gloves come off at the other end. It's DePenta and Morrow. We're waiting.
The linesmen are going to get in there pretty quickly. They're watching to make sure nothing else is going on. The last thing they want is a couple of different practices going on at the same time. Now this will break up now that the combatants have fallen down to the ice, Joe. But this exemplifies the importance of this hockey game. They know how charged up the Oilers will be in their own building to win a game. And the Ducks are going to come in here and say, we're not going out easy, guys. We're going to do whatever it takes to win this hockey game and make sure eventually we win this series.
27-year-old Ontario native dropping the mitts with Ethan Morrow, the 30-year-old Ontario native. And the tough stuff continues in the first 5 minutes and change of Game 3 in the Western Conference Final on OLN. Solani was lurking in front. And the Oilers have no difficulties clearing. Beauchemin was gone face first to the glass from Ryan Smith. And Beauchemin slow to get back to his skates.
And he's got to keep composed now, Joe, because he can't try to take it out on the next player, or else he'll draw a penalty.
Smith with a backhander, chested down by Bryzgalov, and the rebound was bunted wide. The Oilers in the dark sweaters, Anaheim in the white, even in full strength, 5-on-5. Scott Niedermeyer roving up front, taking Spacek to the glass. As the rookie Green begins the breakout for Pisani. Fernando Pisani got it only as far as the Duck line. Corey Perry under heat. He was dragged down, and the Ducks are going to a manpower advantage themselves. Steve Staios will make the touch-up. Pyrotechnics before the game and during it, as we are well into Game 3 of the Western Eastern Conference Final. Hockey Central for the Stanley Cup playoffs is OLN. You look at the special teams numbers for the Mighty Ducks, just below 12%, and that has been a bugaboo for Randy Carlisle's team in the springtime. They needed to ignite the offensive attack in a series in which they've only scored twice against Dwayne Roloson in the initial 2 games. Ryan Smith hustling down the wing. Rob Niedermeyer stalls him in the corner. Anaheim in the white sweaters skating 5-on-4 for another 1:15. Andy McDonald working down the alley, finding Solani for the one-timer, and Roloson with a sparkling save there. Corey Perry guides it. Solani moves it back to Beauchemin. He gets into a better shooting lane. Gives it to the Finn. Solani trying to force speed McDonald, and the Oilers said no.
And that's the end of the number 1 power play for the Ducks, as the second power play comes out now for the second minute of this power play.
Perry strides in, working to the inside, cut off there, and then it's chopped off of the rink. But the referees will say just face off inside. No delay of game, or will they?
It is
Eric Verlet's going to say delay of game.
Delay of game, Joe. That was there's no question about it. I don't know what the argument is from Horkoff on that one. He chopped that puck right up into the crowd. Take a look at the movement of Dwayne Roloson from inside the net. Great movement. Moves excellently throughout this entire playoffs. But Sean Horkoff goes into the box. You cannot shoot the puck over the glass in your own zone. There it is. He chops the puck up. Now, he was trying to plead that Getzlaf's stick had been in there. I think that was Getzlaf, and that's what it deflected off of. But it clearly was a chop directly from Horkoff right over. So they got a 40-second 5-on-3, the Ducks do, and then they'll go to a one-man advantage for the last minute 20.
By far, as we are nearing 40 minutes combined, the most penalty-filled game in this young series. Scott Niedermeyer for Andy McDonald. Trying to cross up the play, and Jared Stoll read it beautifully. Just 20 seconds left in the minor to Cassani.
And that's valuable time on a 5-on-3, Joe. You really don't want them to even be able to get it out of the zone, much less, break up one of your scoring passes.
McDonald finding Scott Niedermeyer to the front, answered again by Jason Smith. Getzlaf working the power play point. McDonald closing for a wrister that was blocked. It never got through to Roloson. It's 5-on-4 now for the Ducks in the white. Cassani exits the penalty box. Getzlaf channels for Kunitz. The wrister, that's easy pickings for Roloson, and he'll cover, and the mask is gone again. And to a man, the Ducks said they were going to crash the crease. They were going to screen. They were going to look for redirects and deflections. Make life a little bit more miserable. A send-away trying to spring Solani misfires. Back come the Oilers. It's Ryan Smith. Lines and drives. Glove save Brizgalov. Ram Murray keeps it moving. Smith stapled to the boards by Paulson. Bang, bang play. And Brizgalov makes the stop on Murray. Loose in front. Another chance for Horkoff. And he was denied. All of a sudden, the Oilers get their offense in gear.
Brizgalov's 2 biggest saves of the night so far. He's only had 4 shots, but those 2 saves were great ones.
As the Ducks settle, even in full strength, 5-on-5 in what has been a penalty-filled first period. Michael Pekka riding a 3-game goal-scoring streak. He's out there with Ales Hemsky for the moment, and Sergei Samsonov. Samsonov, maybe his best game in the last few weeks. Game 2, another win for Edmonton. Morrow ran right into Kunitz. Kunitz on a takeaway. Slots it there. Lupul fires, and Roloson was ready. McDonald was setting the screen.
What a great opportunity there for Joffrey Lupul. And Kunitz stripped Moreau of the puck. Sent it over to Lupul, and Lupul's got the great shot, but guess what? Roloson's there again.
Lupul became the first Duck ever to score 4 goals in a single game. He did that in the last round against Colorado. He'd settle for 1 goal of any kind in this series right now. No score in this one, and Lupul was set up in prime real estate just a moment ago.
He certainly was, and Chris Kunitz, as we said, took the puck away from Ethan Morrow and then went over, put himself backwards, looked back and saw the trailer. Joffrey Lupul, then the quick wrist shot right there, but look at Roloson's in perfect position. No deflection on the puck, which would have helped the Ducks perhaps get one by Roloson, but the shot straight through along the ice. Rolison in his good positioning had the pads down.
Joffrey Lupul etching his name in the Mighty Ducks record book as this playoff season in 2006 continued. The bodies flying once again. That was Corey Perry getting in there high on the Edmonton defense. The backline core, the partnership of Pronger and Smith. Chris Pronger just snapped his stick in half on a pass. I have now seen everything.
Boy, he snapped that right up near the top. Only a little bit of the top of the stick was left. You almost want to get that after the game. You could use that for open hockey.
That's true. He's 6'6", and I'm not. Is what you're telling me. George Laraque gets up with Wisniewski. That was a combination Bob Harwood was talking about. Look out! Score! Peterson steals and stuffs.
A big mistake by the big guy, Ilya Bryzgalov. He gets checked behind the net by Rem Murray, and then Peterson comes around and does the stuff before Getzlaf and Corey Perry can try to take it away from him. What a major mistake, and what a huge goal when the Ducks were out shooting the Oilers 11-5 at this point, seemed to have the momentum. But the youngster Peterson, with his quickness, jumped on the puck, and it's 1-0 Oil.
27-year-old Minneapolis, Minnesota native. Toby Peterson, brought up from the American Hockey League team in Iowa, with some injury concerns with Rafi Torres out of the lineup ill. Peterson hits pay dirt, and Bryzgalov has had some adventures handling the puck in the first 2+ games of this series, and there it comes back to bite him on the behind. John Horkoff, Ryan Smith the trailer. Horkoff loads, and that's rejected by Ruslan Saleh. Just over 5.5 to go in the opening period. 1-0 for Edmonton for the third straight game. They've got the first goal on the board. Chris Pronger lost it there to Teemu Selanne. The Oilers in the dark sweaters with Ales Hemsky, their leading point getter in the regular campaign, watched carefully by Scott Niedermayer. Beauchemin looking to answer back with Dustin Penner. Penner and Marchand and Selanne right now for head coach Randy Carlyle. And the fans inside of Rexall Place buzzing. A seventh man, if you will. Marchand stuttering in there and stuttering in offside.
And Harvey's taking a penalty.
We'll detail it in a moment. Peterson, his first Stanley Cup playoff tally in the NHL. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final in need of a goal. They get a power play opportunity as Todd Harvey is benched for high stick.
And it was a gratuitous shot that he gave Todd Marchand right over by the bench. Really no need for it, and the referee threw him into the box for it. It was something that his coach won't be very happy about. Take a look. It's not a big deal, but it's a little shot right there. He turned around and gave him a cup. And, you know, from where the referee's standing, when you wing a high stick at somebody, he's going to put you in the box.
It looked innocent enough, but I guess not for Eric Furlat and Brad Watson. Can't be waving that wand around the head.
And don't forget, they're not seeing it in slow motion like we are. They're seeing it in live speed, and it might have looked a lot worse.
Good point by you.
Well, I do come up with one once in a while.
Ethan Morrow out there to penalty kill along with Fernando Pisani. As Pisani scoops it back down from the north end here in Edmonton, and every time Pisani hits the ice, he is definitely a fan favorite. Lupul working down the alleyway. Spacek comes up and rides him to the ball boards. Beauchemin for Scott Niedermayer. Bluffed down the defender. Soft wrister off of the shin pads of McDonald. Andy McDonald in a wrestling match with Spacek. Lupul looking for Selanne. Teemu ran right into the referee. It's all going wrong. Referee Brad Watson got entangled with the Duck sniper just as Bryzgalov scampers back to the crease. 50 seconds on the power play for the men in white. Corey Perry slows the pace. Perry digging to the front, a beautiful move, and he missed the far corner. Ethan Morrow trickles it back to center. Beauchemin winding up for Anaheim. Beauchemin to Getzlaf and then offside against the Ducks. Perry was injured in the opening round playoff series in which Anaheim rallied from a 3-2 deficit to put down the favored Calgary Flames. Perry has gotten back into the lineup in the last outing and seems very comfortable. Ruslan Saleh snaking his way through center. Rolison chops it off the woodwork. Pronger spins it around the dasher and out. That'll do it for the time left in the minor to Todd Harvey. Anaheim is now 0 for 3 in the first period on the power play.
No shots on that power play, Joe, for the Ducks.
Penner looking for a redirect. Dustin Penner crowded by Green. Floats one to the front, and there's Harvey to answer. The lead for Smith goes awry. 2:40 to go in the first period. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Edmonton took the first 2 at the Pond in Anaheim. A commanding lead. Looking to go for the jugular perhaps tonight. With a 1-0 advantage, it's Hemsky on the fly. Ales Hemsky collared back behind the cage by DePenta. Kept the skates moving, does the Hemsky, and then lost it to the corner. Lupul working back. Marchand hits the seam. One more for Penner. It was behind him. Dustin Penner spins off of Steos. Marchand looking to create. DePenta from board to board, and there's nobody there. Ales Hemsky veering in. Hemsky channels and fires it off as Brizgalov went to the splits. Peterson hacks it to the front. DePenta scoops it back onto the Edmonton side of the table. 13-6 unofficially, Anaheim with a shots on goal advantage. But a Toby Peterson marker from Rem Murray off a misplay by Brizgalov. It's 1-0 Edmonton. Larocque dancing in along with Rem Murray. Murray straightened up there defensively by Getzlaf. Murray on the forecheck keeps Edmonton in the offensive zone. Larocque barreling his way back behind. Smith's one-timer. That was scuttled by Fedora. 1:15 away from that Dodge intermission report, and the locals in Edmonton are loving it.
They're loving the hand-to-hand combat that's going out on the ice here in Rexall Place. Man on man, there's a lot of great physical work being done by these two teams.
It's an Oiler team, Neil, that has won 6 straight playoff games. Back along the boards, Beauchemin in a fight with Pisani. 50 seconds to go in the opening stanza. Pekka loosens himself up from the grip of Beauchemin. Morrow off the cycle. Ethan Morrow blocked there. McDonald got in the way. Morrow to the front looking for Pekka, and it jumped over his blade. 35 seconds left in the first period. Kunitz relays for Solani. Solani drive right to the gut of Rolison. The one miscue by Brizgalov has given Edmonton the advantage.
And this is what happened in game 2. The miscue by Brizgalov missing the Pronger shot from the point was ended up being the difference in game 2.
You know he's going to want to bail his buddies out before this night is through. 20 seconds to go as Penner wrists one wide. Recovered there by Lupul. Waved on to Marchand. On top O'Donnell. Moving to the gut of the defense. That wrister was spoiled by Smith. 8 seconds left, and Ryan Smith will play free and clear. It's a one-on-one for Jarrett Stoll. Stoll blocked off by Saleh, and that'll do it for the opening 20 minutes in Edmonton. The Oilers a 2-0 lead in the series and a 1-0 lead on Ilya Brizgalov tonight, thanks to Toby Peterson.
Part, and the fact that the grind line got involved for Edmonton. The high penalty number in the first period really meant that the physical guys had to carry the load, and yes, the flow offensively was broken up a little bit for Edmonton, but Charlie Huddy says there's a lot of depth in terms of guys who can impact the game without just having to fly up and down the ice.
Horkoff flying in here, and Brizgalov was ready at the post.
Big save by Brizgalov, Joe, right in the first minute.
Solani chisels it back. Marchand rips it, and the sprawling Jason Smith does it again. The Oilers captain has been outstanding in terms of blocked shots in this postseason. That's been a story throughout his career. Another of the name game guys out there now, Pisani. Fernando, that is, for Edmonton. Working with Mike Pekka and Toby Peterson. In back, it's Marc-Andre Bergeron and the big man, Matt Green. Pekka scoops it into the corner. First there to collect, it's Fedoruk. Around the wall intended for Getzlaf, and Pisani was parked right along that dash. The secondary break sends away Dupenta. We are in minute 2 of period 2. You get a handheld look at Fedoruk, causing a commotion along the boards. Fernando Pisani is the chance of let's go Oilers. Ring up from the nearly 17,000 inside of Rexall Place. Delayed offside against the Ducks. No worries for Bergeron. Pisani looking to Ryan Smith. Pekka trailing the play as McTavish and the Oilers are in the midst of a line change. Anaheim doubling up Edmonton in terms of shots, 14-7, but trailing where it matters most, 1-0 on the big board. The tally belonging to Toby Peterson back in the first. Beauchemin with Scott Niedermayer on for McDonald. Andy McDonald lined up there by Staios. Staios has been extremely solid in the postseason, and especially so in those first 2 games back in Anaheim. He ran right into Chris Kunitz. Kunitz and McDonald out there. Joffrey Lupul joining this line. Yaroslav Spacek, native of the Czech Republic, pitched it back onto the Anaheim side. The Mighty Ducks could make the case they outplayed Edmonton in the first period. They could make the case they outplayed them in game 2. They have nothing to show for it. Trailing 2-0 in the series. Hemsky flying down that corridor. Turns the corner. Alex Hemsky to the front. Scott Niedermayer got back. To brother Rob. Lined up by Bergeron. Spun ahead by Green as he was looking for Horcoff. Rob Niedermayer boxed in by Ryan Smith. Jeff Friesen, who had the Ducks' only tally in game 2. It came off a scramble. It came off a rebound in front. And the Ducks were thinking that's the way they were going to pierce Dwayne Roloson tonight. O'Donnell lobs it on back. Green patiently begins the breakout with Bergeron. Horcoff is next in line. Broken up by Kunitz. Finding McDonald. The trailer Lupul again. He was badgered from the weak side. Samsonov with a defensive play. Andy McDonald skitters into the corner. Lupul funneling back to the point. On top for Wisniewski. Trapped there by Pisani. Even in full strength, 5-on-5. 6 minutes into the second period. Game 3 of the Western Final. The Mighty Ducks in the white sweaters, and the Mighty Ducks about to go to a power play.
High sticking will be the call on Bergeron. It was a errant high stick, but nevertheless, he's going to go to the box. The penalty goes to Bergeron. That's our call on that penalty, but the referee obviously saw something different. And remember, folks, we're seeing this slow motion. We're not seeing it at full speed like a referee and having to judge which stick hit which mask.
Benefit of the expertise of the men and women in our technical crew in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. For you tonight, Hockey Central on OLN. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. The team in the blue, the Edmonton Oilers, back here at home. Horcoff forced an interference call on Scott Niedermayer. Bye-bye Anaheim power play after 15 seconds. Paulson bending to the task with Mike Pekka here. Anaheim control with the veteran defense of Sean O'Donnell. Ruslan Saleh, the 31-year-old native of Belarus, working in back with O'Donnell. As the Ducks are in no particular hurry to come forward. Saleh striding on the hard around. Friesen is there. Bounced over his tape. Log jam along the boards. O'Donnell finds it at his feet. And a good flashy stop there by Roloson. Alex Hemsky without his hockey stick races to the bench for the line change. We're at even strength, so this is an icing call against Edmonton.
And that wasn't they had to ice the puck on that one, Joe, because Alex Hemsky had broken his stick. And playing 4-on-4 hockey, if you lose a hockey stick to one of your players, 4-on-3 is very dangerous.
Fans continuing to serenade Dwayne Roloson with that nickname, Roley.
You're used to that name.
Close to it, right? Close to it in D.C. Not exactly the same. Steve Staios. Waved at by Rob Niedermeyer. We're 4-on-4 for another 50 seconds, and it's an abbreviated Edmonton power play. Michael Pekka challenged and straightened up by Wisniewski. Back from the Ducks in full stride. It's Marchand, the wrister that was weakened on the way. And then Staios cleaned up Marchand against the boards. Rolison there to help his own cause. Back behind the cage, Rob Niedermeyer. Moving it swiftly on the perimeter. Beauchemin backpedaling all the way to the point. The Oilers will pounce on it. Hemsky doing the honors. Just 9 shots on net for Edmonton. And nearly 28 minutes worth of work. But the Toby Peterson strike has them in front. Solani wipes out. Teemu Solani, the former kindergarten teacher, in there on the forecheck. In a building in which one of his Hall of Fame heroes, Jari Kurri, worked so splendidly. Another native of Finland. Smith, good give and go. Horkoff, one more for Samsonov. And the back-checking McDonald was in the way. The Oiler power play comes to its conclusion right here. They had it for all but 15 seconds. Jason Smith settles. Chris Pronger advances. Smith and Horkoff out there now with Samsonov. Fedoruk jumping over the boards for the Ducks. Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf, the two 21-year-olds, working with him. Getzlaf is 7 days older exactly than Corey Perry. And the future is bright for both. This is Perry angling in. Looking through the screen, shooting it through the legs. Green stuffs him against the glass after Olesen beat him with a stop. End-to-end in transition, it's Rem Murray. Going wide, Murray softly to the cage. Brizgalov makes the stop. Ilya Brizgalov making the stop on Larocque. And then with bodies falling again, there's another penalty call. The Oilers in front by 1, but once again having to penalty kill. And Green was telling us earlier in the day that the officials are looking out for him. They're trying to make sure that he keeps it on the straight and narrow. He can be physical. He can cross the line on occasion.
And that, when there was a mistake by Green, that was definitely a penalty. You can't go in and hit a guy from behind who has yet to take possession of the puck.
Lupul and Solani and Getzlaf up front. Scott Niedermeyer and Francois Beauchemin in back. The Ducks in need of the equalizer. They're dressed in white. Scott Niedermeyer rakes one towards the cage. Solani grappling with Smith. Beauchemin finding Getzlaf. They work the overload. Beauchemin bombs away, and it's blocked by Ethan Morrow. The storyline for the Oilers continues to be their willingness to block shots.
And on that one, Beauchemin should have taken his time and tried to move. They know that the Oilers are going to go down in front of every shot.
Lupul trying the top corner. He caught a lot of the glass. And the big ricochet will chase Scott Niedermeyer back onto his half of the ice. We are just about halfway through regulation time in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Joe Beninati, Neil Smith upstairs. Billy Jaffe and Bob Harwood are ringside reporters for you. Hockey Central on OLN. Scott Niedermeyer's wrister went wide. Beauchemin pinching. Good move for Penner. Penner looking to stuff. Rolison down with a paddle. And the backhander went away. Lupul saucers it back for Beauchemin. Screen developing in front of Rolison. Getzlaf doesn't pull the trigger. Nor does Beauchemin. Getzlaf through the seam. Niedermeyer. They move it swiftly, but no shots are taken. Beauchemin will fire. Stop. Rebound. None. Rolison has it melted. Francois Beauchemin, who in part with his power play work set an Anaheim rookie assist record this year. A heavy shot. Scott Niedermeyer tends to be the distributor and Beauchemin the gunner. Solani with Perry. There's Beauchemin, another rip off the defense and just tumbling wide after it hit the captain Smith. And then Jarrett Stoll finds the path to clear. 10 ticks left in the rookies penalty. Matt Green's out of the box now in 7. As Stoll keeps it in the corner. Pisani happy to trap McDonald there. We're back to 5-on-5, and the Oiler fans salute the penalty killers. Edmonton's penalty killers just about 88%. Solani knifing in, guarded well by Smith. Pronger marking Solani now. Ryan Smith away to the races. It's a 2-on-1 with Hemsky. Ryan Smith, Ales Hemsky, pad save, Brizgalov. Hemsky waits. Deking away from Perry. Connecting with Smith. There's a penalty call coming as Rolison's making his way to the bench. The Ducks go short-handed. Edmonton has a 1-0 lead in Game 3 of the Western Final. And Ilya Bryzgalov is determined to keep it right there.
It's an automatic high sticking penalty, and that's where Perry got caught. We saw it earlier on the Pisani-Bergeron call. And that time Bergeron went to the box, and we're still not sure whether Joffrey Lupul hit himself in the head.
The Anaheim penalty killing group rated best in the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2006. Matching up here with an Edmonton power play unit that has goals in 5 of its last 6 games. Ales Hemsky darting in. Great pass, Ryan Smith. And it was just poked off of his blade. Scott Niedermayer surveying that situation. Samsonov trying to pitchfork it free. He did, but it bounced by Spacek. And Pronger says, come on back and regroup. Let's go Oilers again for nearly 17,000 raucous fans inside of Rexall Place. Pronger, uncontested to center. Bad dump in. And Soleil will send them marching back to Rolison's neighborhood.
Not really a dump in at all by Chris Pronger. Actually, a miscue as he lost the puck just entering the zone.
He'll try it again. This time with success. Fernando Pisani. Craig McTavish, the head coach, said, you know what, I should have played him a lot more earlier in the season. He didn't give him a lot of ice time, but Pisani is flourishing now that McTavish is calling his name quite a bit.
Yeah, but whatever he did the right thing. Whether he gave him ice time during the season or not, whatever it was the right formula to get him to have playoff success.
Man has an outstanding shot, and Ilya Bryzgalov can attest to that as he puts the clamps on it. Fernando Pisani with that howitzer-like wrister in game number 2.
He has a tremendous shot, tremendous release, quick release against the Detroit Red Wings. They found out that was a beautiful little move to go in the 5-hole. Against the Sharks, he had the quick release on the 2-on-1. And against the Ducks, a high shot that Bryzgalov didn't see anything out, but he is a good snapper.
Bergeron fires, stick save Bryzgalov, and then the referee, Watson, was skipping a rope on the rebound. Stole there. Craig McTavish said Fernando Pisani is one of those guys who needs only one shot to bury his chance. Those types of goal scorers are few and far between. Bergeron. Pisani can attest to it. He's shooting nearly 40% in the playoffs. Horkov. Give and go. Shooting percentage, not a stat we often talk about in the NHL. One-timer ripped wide by Stoll. He leaned everything into that. Pass back to the point position. That was vacated by Stoll just as Corey Perry leaves the box. 2-on-2. Now 3-on-3. Niedermayer fans. Rob Niedermayer fans. Perry retrieval. Stopped by Rolison. And he'll squeeze as it's washed out. No goal with a major pick pile in front of the crease.
Well, we talked about it in the entire game that the Ducks have got to find a way to get this puck under Rolison. They got to get a puck into the net as Dwayne Rolison comes up again, maskless.
Marchand rips it back for Ruslan Soleil. Lupul turned away by Pekka. Lupul fires. Rebound was there, and Penner couldn't get a stick on it. O'Donnell moving well up from his point position. Dustin Penner tracked by Michael Pekka. To the front. Ethan Morrow on the takeaway. And now on the accelerator. 4-on-3 if he pushes it. Weak side one-timer Pekka blocked by O'Donnell. John O'Donnell playing catch with Ruslan Soleil. As they reverse it, it's Teemu Selanne getting it free and clear.
So many times in the last couple of games we've seen that the Ducks have tried too much to get the puck out in front on passes. They've been turnovers deep in the Edmonton zone, but Edmonton is so good at the quick transition game that it ends up as a scoring chance for the Oilers down the other end. They've got to stop throwing pucks away the way Dustin Penner did just there.
Selanne for Kunitz. Trying to take greater value of the puck on this trip. Beauchemin. No running room for Selanne. He has been targeted in this series. Kunitz. Quick flick of the wrist. That one caught the glass. Back comes Hemsky for Edmonton. 1-0 Oilers. Toby Peterson, of all folks. An American Hockey League recall has the tally. Lupul quickly, one touch, drive, and Rolison makes the save on Getzlaf, who is strolling in. Getzlaf another chance for Lupul. Lupul didn't pull the trigger. Horkoff with a defensive stop, and Pisani with the clear out.
And Lupul didn't get a chance to pull the trigger because big Chris Pronger was right on top of him as soon as he got the puck.
Offside, Anaheim. Working with Larocque and Murray. This line was on the board in the first period. Green jumping in from a point position. DePenta there for the Ducks, and now Wisniewski. Russian Olympian on through Fedoruk. Green, the former captain of NCAA powerhouse North Dakota, and the Fighting Sioux have put some terrific defenders into the NHL in recent years. Green figures to be the latest and one of the more powerful of those. As Hemsky glides in, little shake and bake wrister just went wide. 1-0 Edmonton. Ryan Getzlaf, who had a great chance spoiled just a few moments ago by Dwayne Rolison. Getzlaf and Perry and Marchand on ice for Randy Carlyle. Marchand connecting with Solani. Jumps right on through Steos. Teemu Solani to the front. The carom, and it's beneath Rolison as there's a penalty call coming against Edmonton.
Well, this penalty comes because of the shifty work of Teemu Solani and the great way that he can change speed with that repaired knee. But at the other end of the ice, what an opportunity for Ales Hemsky as he goes around Wisniewski, who was looking for the big hit once again, and takes this quick snap. Goes right by the blocker and by the net. Had that been over just an inch, it would have been 2-0 Oilers. At the other end, watch this speed of Solani. Steos reaches out with the arms and takes the holding penalty.
Teemu Solani, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, they've lost 12 straight in this building. And we talked to Teemu, and he said, you know what? I didn't even know that streak was in consideration until this week when the media started to mention it. February 24th, 1999, the last time Anaheim won in this building. Beauchemin playing catch with Scott Niedermayer. Thrust it on for Getzlaf, one-timer block. Solani follow-up chance, and Chris Pronger boots it away. Sean Horkoff 2-on-2 with Ryan Smith. Horkoff galloping on Getzlaf with the backhand into the post, and Brizgalov just keeping it tidy enough. Anaheim in the white. Lupul spins it. Solani hiding in the weeds. Getzlaf is there. Smith brushed it around, and now Chris Pronger has plenty of time and space.
What a tremendous penalty killer Chris Pronger is. He's not doing anything that's out-and-out superstar-like, but he is just there every single time the Ducks try to put a puck past Rolison or try to get anything going. Chris Pronger gets a foot, a shin, a stick, something in the way.
Anaheim 1 for 8 in game 1, 0 for 5 in game 2, and offside here, and 0 for in game 3.
Well, the Ducks are going to have to settle down here and try to get organized because men like Chris Pronger, who comes back out onto the ice, he already has played in the first period 8 minutes and 37 seconds, and most of this second period. He's one of the guys that's calm and cool and collected when he's killing penalties for the Edmonton Oilers, and with that tremendous range that he has and the great dexterity of being able to skate the way he does and change directions. He's a real force to be reckoned with in a penalty-killing situation.
Graphical note there showing that he's hit the century mark in terms of playoff games. Game number 100 in the postseason for Pronger throughout his career, whether it be in Hartford or St. Louis or here with Edmonton. Ducks challenging now. Perry back to point position for Beauchemin. Rink wide to Ruslan Saleh. Second wave of the power play for Anaheim. Corey Perry patiently under control. Blocked and intercepted by Jarrett Stoll. Stoll continues to be a pain in the neck on the penalty kill.
Well, he outguessed the rookie Perry on that one. A nice takeaway and a nice kill of some precious seconds.
Spacek then shouldering on Perry as he closed ranks. Soleil too hot to handle for Penner. Spot check there as the icing is washed out. Linesmen tonight, Scott Driscoll and Jay Sharon. Under a minute to go in the second period. Another shotless power play for the Ducks. Long lead for Sammy Paulson. Paulson in a foot race with Spacek. Down to the ice surface they go. Up comes the arm of the official. And there's a penalty call now against Anaheim, it appears.
And it's on Sammy Paulson, and he doesn't like it at all. Spacek went back for the puck and fell down, and the referee is calling a holding penalty. So Sammy Paulson will go into the box, the Swede who has improved in light years over the past few years to be just a terrific defensive player with offensive skills to boot, goes in against Spacek here, and there you see what they call it's holding of the stick. Spacek got his stick up and under Paulson, which makes it appear to be a holding the stick penalty.
Neil, congratulations to Sweden, the first nation ever to win Olympic gold and a world championship title in the same year. The Swedes beat the Czechs over in Latvia. Finland wins the bronze, ousting Canada. Beauchemin put it back onto the Edmonton side. 35 seconds left in period 2. At the time separating us from our Verizon wireless intermission report. Hemsky didn't field it cleanly. The mess is cleaned up by Pronger. 22-14, Anaheim leads in shots. They still trail by 1-0. Pronger's lead for Smith is ruled to be an offside against Edmonton.
It was way offside. Alex Hemsky on this near side was way inside the zone. Pronger didn't see that when he carried the puck in to try to set up in the offensive zone. But you talk about Chris Pronger, I think he does almost everything well. Remember, he was drafted by actually the general manager of the now Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Brian Burke drafted him for the then Hartford Whalers. He was later traded to the St. Louis Blues from the Hartford Whalers.
Brendan Shanahan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Hemsky working wide. Clothesline by Scott Niedermayer. Spacek with little time remaining. Pronger's blast at the horn is blocked, and that'll do it. 2/3 of the way through regulation, and still Toby Peterson's first period goal stands as the deciding factor. Number 1 on everybody's hit list, and Chris Pronger is hoping that another one-goal decision may come his team's way. These two squads, remember, when Anaheim went to the Stanley Cup final back in 03, they won 12 different one-goal decisions. That was one of their favorite tricks to pull. As we begin this third period, Edmonton continues on a power play. It's 4th on the night for another 53 seconds. Spacek and Pronger, the rear guard. Pisani, Hemsky, and Smith up top. Brizgalov has that one secured, and the faceoff will come in his territory.
We've talked a lot tonight about Chris Pronger and the tremendous amount of ice time he gets. What about the rookie Beauchemin for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim? It's amazing, really, how much he's on the ice. There he is, Francois Beauchemin. Again, I've emphasized a rookie brought in on the trade with Columbus. And Spacek from the Edmonton Oilers is second after 2 periods. Scott Niedermayer and Pronger, the 2 Norris Trophy guys, are actually 3 and 4. So that's a little bit surprising to see Francois Beauchemin on the ice more than anybody in this hockey game.
Among NHL freshmen, he was high on the list during the regular season. Randy Carlyle has him riding shotgun for Scott Niedermayer, so the youngster's minutes are bound to climb. Beauchemin in a penalty-killing role with Scott Niedermayer for another 27 seconds. But then the Ducks will get Sammy Paulson back. Pronger looking for Hemsky, and he's not able to fidget by Beauchemin either. Dwayne Rolison against Ilya Brizgalov in the netminders duel. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Edmonton in front by 1 and leading by 2 games to none. A win tonight would put Anaheim in a major hole. On the run, it's Chris Kunitz for Paulson out of the penalty box. Rink wide for Soleil, and backtracking well was Bergeron. And we hear a whistle. Referees tonight, Eric Furlat and Brad Watson, and there may be a bench minor here.
Bench minor, too many men on the ice.
Well, what's happened here, Joe, is the man jumping onto the ice, I think it was Samsonov, played the puck before the man he was replacing had gotten onto the bench for the Oilers. It really has nothing to do with the work of Coach McTavish, although it's frustrating for him. What happens is you know who you're supposed to replace, but you're supposed to know not to touch the puck until you're sure the man you're replacing has gotten his foot onto the bench.
So, after surviving the tail end of an Edmonton power play, the Mighty Ducks looking for the game-tying tally. Go 5-on-4 dressed in the white. We are Hockey Central on OLN for the Stanley Cup playoffs. This evening we're in Edmonton. Tomorrow our series will shift to the Eastern Conference and to Buffalo for Game 3 of that series. In the meantime, referee Furlat with another call.
Now this one's a duck call, Joe, as Teemu Selanne gets called for the holding. And it's amazing, really, that you know that referees are going to make calls when you take your hand off your stick and you put the stick inside on the player and wrap the arm around. They're going to call it, even though you've gone your whole career thinking that wasn't holding. This year, it's holding.
A duck call. A decoy.
Oh, I never thought of that.
You got a million of them. You just burned one. Thankfully, you've been saving those for our lunchtime discussions and not for the on-air broadcast. Deep slot, Niedermeyer fires, pad save, Rolison. Rebound there for Getzlaf, and Rolison takes it away.
My, oh my, oh my, how did this not go in? Ryan Getzlaf was right there with a puck in front of the big empty cage, and somehow Dwayne Rolison stops this. Here's the shot by Scott Niedermeyer, gets through, and Getzlaf can't get it around, and he ends up putting it into the pad of Rolison on the second shot. Take a look. Look at the empty net. No, he hit the pad. Maybe because Sean Horcup, Smirnoff Ice School Chem gives us an even better look. Look at this right off of the pad of Rolison. He's still wearing his Minnesota Wild pads, by the way.
Yes, he is. That color scheme prominently displayed. A blocker pad save there for Rolison. Michael Pekka thrusts it around for spot check. Just past the 2-minute mark of period 3. Breakaway chance for Michael Pekka. All alone in solo. Fires and scores!
Ruslan Saleh tries to put a soft one in, but Pekka gets the leg out and gets a breakaway. Where does he go? Where he always goes. High glove, a snap. What a huge goal. What a huge goal for the Edmonton Oilers. And what a knife into the Ducks. He gets it off the ankle. Pekka's on the breakaway. He didn't make a mistake against the Sharks, and he's not making a mistake against the Ducks.
Michael Pekka, goals in 4 straight games. And with the pom-poms waving, I have a feeling they like it in Edmonton. Scott Niedermeyer looking for the top shelf. That one went high. We stay 4-on-4 for another 50 seconds. Back behind the cage amidst the deafening screams of the Oiler fans. It is 2-0 Edmonton in Game 3 of the Western Final. Back comes Pekka again. Winds and fires off the outside of the post. Scott Niedermeyer strolling ahead. The Mighty Ducks working in 3-on-3. The pass gets away from Paulson. Ryan Smith has a step on Niedermeyer. Scott Niedermeyer throws the elbow at him. Scott Niedermeyer just blowing past Rem Murray. On the wing, McDonald. The trailer is Lupul. Drive! Chested down by Rolison. Oilers in the dark sweaters on top by 2. A Mike Pekka tally here in the third. A Toby Peterson marker in the first. And they're 2 better than the visiting Ducks. McDonald, one of only 2 men to put a tally on the board in this series against Dwayne Rolison. Friesen's the other. Fernando Pisani on the interchange for Samsonov. Sergei Samsonov wheeling in. Drop pass, Staios. Score!
Staios gets absolutely smoked here by Beauchamp, and he goes down in a heap. But he's not in a heap of trouble because he comes back later. This surging Sergei Samsonov, the beautiful drop pass. Brizgalov kept going with Samsonov. He didn't read the play. He's way off to the side of the net. Guess who's in the paint? An Oiler. So now it's 3-0. It's a game of mistakes. The Ducks have made a few mistakes. The Oilers have been there to capitalize.
Steve Staios' first career tally in the postseason. It comes 1 minute, 16 seconds after the Pekka 4-on-4 strike. And Rexall Place is an absolute madhouse. And the gloves come down again for Fedoruk and Larocque. Round 2. Oh, my goodness. What a bomb of a right. And Larocque never flinched. As the live action continues, 4 minutes into the third period, and the complexion of this game has changed. What was once a 1-0 advantage is now 3-0 for the hosts, and Sean Horcoff wants a word for Vitaly Vishnevsky.
And Vitaly Vishnevsky has just taken a bad penalty. He hit Horcoff in the neutral zone. He always looks for those big hits, so he got Horcoff, and he got frustrated and went up to Horcoff and gave him a face wash right in front of the referee. A stupid, needless penalty at this point in the game when you're down 3-0. There's the hit. Now Vishnevsky goes down because Horcoff had a good center of gravity. Vishnevsky gets upset by this. He's frustrated with the score. He goes back and gives a face wash to Horcoff, but puts his team in a hole again. This is another penalty that the Ducks are going to have to kill. They're already down by 3. And when they finish killing this off, if they do, there's only going to be 14 minutes left for them to make up 3 goals.
Neil, Randy Carlisle said it at the beginning of the day. Nothing short of our best game of the season will work tonight. To this point, with 15 minutes to go in regulation, the Ducks have not been at their best. Right now, they are trailing by 3, and they are on their way to the box again.
And this was another obvious one over on the side boards. The stick got put between the legs of the Oiler who was crossing the blue line. You know, Joe, in every year that I've been in hockey, you get away with that. But you don't get away with that in 2006 in this league. Spacek goes to the boards. There's the pick. There, the pitchfork goes through the legs. Spacek can't move, so when his legs move, he goes down in a trip. It's been a penalty all season long. It's been a penalty all playoffs long, and now it's a 5-on-3 Oilers.
And the players have to adjust. For the most part, they have. On occasion, they dip into old habits, and even a wily old veteran like Scott Niedermayer is at fault there. And now it is a golden opportunity for Edmonton to really drop the hammer in this series. Pronger. Stoll on the outside. 5-on-3. Samsonov skipping. Lost it. He was too quick for his own good there. And Ruslan Saleh exits and clears. The quick up for Ryan Smith. The trailer, Samsonov. He goes full flaps. Spot check for Pronger. Another penalty call against Anaheim. Pronger bombs and scores! Chris Pronger!
To injury, Joe, the penalty will still get called because when there's a delayed penalty, when you've already got men in the box, you still get that penalty called on you. So Sammy Paulson goes to the penalty box with a grim reminder of a 4-0 deficit now by virtue of this blast by Chris Pronger that we're all so used to seeing in the playoffs. He moves right into the top of the circles. No chance for Brizgalov, no chance for Tretiak, no chance for Dryden, no chance for any goalie that was in the net on that goal.
That's a very nice historical reference. Some of the past international greats of the game in the nets. Pronger's previous goal came from about 25 feet further back than that one. He walked in. It's still 5-on-3. It's 4-0. All of a sudden, the Oilers in a rout. Spacek, Pekka blocked in front and spun out of there by Marchand.
Good skate save that time by Ruslan Saleh. That one didn't get quite through to the goaltender Brizgalov. It was Saleh who stopped that one.
4-0 Edmonton, 14 minutes and change away from perhaps a 3-0 lead in the series. Michael Pekka into the slot for Ryan Smith. Smith, as he is wont to do, hovering at the top of the crease. Pronger dances. Spacek fires, and Brizgalov made the pad save. Beauchemin rips it down the corridor and clear.
Good save by Brizgalov. The cross-ice pass to Spacek. The one-timer, Brizgalov was right there. He can only stop what he can see.
Rem Murray speeding wide. Staios' goal was a power play strike. Pronger's goal, which followed, was a power play marker. Here comes Big 44 again. Bergeron bluffed it. Pronger at the top of the umbrella setup. Wants the one-timer. Bergeron takes it. Tried to change the angle of the release there and missed the mark. Getzlaf stepping out in the penalty-killing role. The 5-on-3 ends in 5 seconds. Pisani rejected by Brizgalov. Horkoff back for Bergeron. Pronger again, now 5-on-4. The pass blocked by Getzlaf. Can the Ducks get it out? Wisniewski should, and he will. Scott Niedermayer, full speed, turning the corner on Pronger. 4-0 Edmonton with 3 third-period tallies. We are Hockey Central on OLN, and they want the cup in Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers. A win tonight, a 3-0 lead, and a chance to close out this series in sweep fashion if the lead stays. Here Thursday night, 8 Eastern on OLN. Marchand sends it well wide. McDonald looking for Rob Niedermayer. He and brother Scott, the first brother tandem as teammates to reach a conference final since the mid-'80s. Better than 20 years you have to go back. Rich and Ron Sutter with the Flyers. Marchand in. Oh, that almost squeezed through Rolison. It did, but he continues to have the rabbits, but it went wide. O'Donnell fires and scores! Off a deflection. The Ducks get one back.
Only because it was a pinball in front of Dwayne Rolison did the Ducks finally solve this shutout situation. Todd Marchand, the ex-Oiler, just misses on this one. Lady Luck again shining down on Dwayne Rolison. But old McDonald gets it back to the point, and Sean O'Donnell's shot this time does get through the legs. Take a look at the near miss by Marchand. They come up with the puck again on the blown tire by the Edmonton defenseman, and then Sean O'Donnell's shot hits the left pad of Dwayne Rolison and goes between his own legs.
Sean O'Donnell, 34-year-old Ontario native, Buffalo property originally when he broke in as a pro some 15 seasons ago. Looks like he should get credit for the tally. Mark it down on your score sheet at 7:15 to the third, and suddenly some of the volume is taken out of Rexall Place, but that won't last long. Right away, back to the Let's Go Oilers chant. Beauchemin turned away by Horkoff. McDonald accelerates with Joffrey Lupul. Smith to the corner. Gets a paw up into McDonald's face. The officials allow play on. Ryan Smith protecting it for Chris Pronger. As Smith steers it on back down, this will come the length of the pond and be an icing call against Edmonton. Almost 17,000 in attendance at Rexall Place for one of the few moments in this third period. They're just a little quiet after an Oiler explosion fills the lead to 3. Chris Pronger has always had the heavy slap shot. Edmonton leads 4-1 in the third period. Back in game 2, he was doing that Al McGinnis impression again.
He sure was, and there's another Canadian team, number 44, smiling somewhere. That's Sheldon Surrey, who's got a hard shot. Look at that one, goes right through tonight. And the celebration, Chris Pronger knows where to put that puck from the point.
Scott Niedermayer sends one trickling on its way to the front. Brother Rob there to pick it up out of the corner. Scott Niedermayer, wrist shot went wide. Paulson getting support there from Friesen. Rob Niedermayer fighting through the wash. Pronger forcing him away. Scott Niedermayer keeps it for Beauchemin. A slap pass, that was intention. He was looking for the Karaman, and almost worked. On the rewind, it's Friesen. Powerful skater, ran into trouble. The trouble was named Fernando Pisani.
The trouble was called not passing the puck early enough.
All righty. Jason Smith right to the gloved hand of DePenta. Smith and spot check for a moment. Edmonton, a 3-goal spree in 2 minutes and change, 2:21 to be specific, making a 1-0 advantage, a 4-0 lead. And then if you're just tuning in with us on Hockey Central OLN, Sean O'Donnell moments ago has brought the Ducks back within 3. Penner chops it to Solani, pump fake, Teemu scores! Teemu Solani!
This is reminiscent of a goal that he scored in Colorado when he went around Joe Sakic and took Theodore out of place. But take a look what he does. The pump, the slight fake, and the move around. Wisniewski this time comes in and keeps the puck on the boards. Look at the fake. Makes Roloson open up. Dwayne Roloson is out of his net as he should be. He has to open up. And Solani smartly slides it along the ice. Take a look from the goal cam. You'll see Roloson has to open up. He has no choice. And Solani, the magnificent goal scorer all his career, knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he just slid it along the ice.
Neil, that's something you can't teach, right? That feel, the know, the instincts to make the change of the angle there and fool the defense and goal.
To know how to score goals, you can't teach that. It's an instinct.
Some players, most players, as this is deflected by Getzlaf and stopped by Roloson, most players might have pumped that shot right away from the deep slot. Solani held on to it, made the change of angle, and had everybody beat. At a point position, it's Soleil. Kunitz towards the cage as the Mighty Ducks have 2 tallies of their own in less than 2 minutes, bringing them back to within 2, with still a boatload of time to go in this third period. Getzlaf trying to come out the soft side. O'Donnell figuring now is the time to pinch. The keep in for Kunitz, a rocket right on. It was juggled by Roloson, and then he'll squeeze.
And welcome back to Edmonton. Rexall Place is the scene. 4-2 the score, Oilers over the Ducks. Guys, it's worth noting that Solani goal, his first goal of the series, was scored without big number 44, Chris Pronger, on the ice. So give the Ducks coaching staff a little credit. They were able to kind of massage the matchup, the chess match, so to speak, and get Solani away from Chris Pronger, and is able to get his first goal of the series that they're going to continue to try to do with 9:58 remaining here in the third period, so they get the finish flash, getting a little fancier out there.
Good call, Billy. That's exactly what they've got to do, is keep Andy McDonald and Solani, if they can, away from those guys, Jason Smith and Pronger.
Joe Beninati and Neil Smith looking down at ice level, 5-on-5 as Roloson handles that deflection of a point drive. Trailing the play, it's Paulson. Fedoruk marching right to the top of the crease. O'Donnell keeps it along the woodwork. Fedoruk and Bergeron. Fedoruk scoops it into the corner. Friesen bracing himself for the hit. Fedoruk working the cycle. Soleil back behind the cage. Stoll marking Friesen. Fedoruk looking to create. Bergeron with other ideas. Hekla was almost away to the races. It is 4-2 Edmonton with 9 minutes to play in the third in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Green on the lip of the boards, not out. Paulson, territorially a great shift for Anaheim. Kunitz fires, ricochet at the line. No! Roloson got it!
You know they're going to take a look at this one for sure, but boy, oh boy, from way up here, it did not look like that went over the line. And the referees aren't going over to ask for a look at it. I guess they figure with Colin Campbell and Mike Murphy and everybody else here from the league office that if in fact there was any chance it went over, the Chris Kunitz rebound off of Ethan Moreau, that someone will call down, but man, was that close. Take a look from the eye of the goal cam. Did it go in, folks? No. Another overhead look. Take one more look. No. The quick leather of Dwayne Roloson. Make sure that doesn't go into the net? No. We've had 4 no's, Joe.
And all of a sudden, Greg McTavish, the bench boss for the Oilers, has asked for his 30-second timeout, just as Eric Furlat, who is in position right there at the goal line, gets to chat with the video goal judge in-house, Bob LeDrew. Randy Carlyle, of course, wants it to be checked, and it is under review.
Everything is under review anyways, and Randy knows that. He's just saying, make sure you talk to the guy that he doesn't want the referee to ever drop the puck before he knows for sure, because then you can't go back on it. Sure looks to us like it's not in the net, though. That's the tip of the stick that goes across the line. But again, the replay booth is just down from us, only a couple of spots. Just down over to our left is Colin Campbell, Mike Murphy. The head of the officials, Steve Wackham, is here tonight. Gary Bettman is here, but of course he's not up here judging goals. And here will be the call. And the call is...
no goal.
No.
Furlat allowed Watson to wash it. And Dwayne Roloson was shaking his head from the very beginning. 30 more stops for Roloson. He's been over 30 in each of the 3 games in this series. Once again, we salute our technical crew from Rexall Place with you on OLN, all the men and women who've been here all day. Get set for this one. Another fine grouping of looks at that replay.
These people in the truck work harder than most people work in a week.
Traveling with us from city to city as Getzlaff fires. It's broken down in front. Backhand score! Chris Kunitz! Don't look now! It's 4-3!
You can feel them all smiling and cheering in Anaheim, California, because right off the faceoff, it didn't matter that the Oilers took the timeout. The Ducks still went on the offense right off the draw, and the Edmonton Oilers are finally back on their heels in this series. They have not been on their heels so far in this entire series, but they are right now. Dwayne Roloson just can't quite move over. Beauchemin, the rookie defenseman, right on top of the crease, jumps up in the air like he's skipping rope. It goes right underneath him and into the net. 4-3. How about that? It was 4-0 only minutes ago.
An almost unimaginable third period. The Oilers put 3 goals together in 2:21. The Ducks have responded with 3 goals in 4 minutes exactly. And what was once a rout is now once again a very hotly contested game. And the Ducks aren't through yet. Solane and Penner and Marchand out there to the front. Carrying the momentum, the men in the white sweaters from Anaheim. Not wanting to fall behind 3-0 in this Western Conference Final Series. Ethan Morrow tracked down by Perry, who lost his stick, as the Oilers are in, and this is offside. Let's listen in. Bud Light mic'd up.
Nice move, Timo. Nice move. Out of white pens, nice pass. Good pinch, buddy.
Maybe it's me. I get way too excited. Nice move, Timo, like he's seen it every day.
Well, don't forget, this is the man that's going to become a dentist when his career is over, so dentists usually aren't that excited. You know, getting him to scream and yell might be like pulling teeth.
Oh, but a bum. That was better than a nice move. And Teemu Selanne gets on the board. The Ducks definitely have some life here in the third period. After losing the first 2 games in their barn, they're trying to turn the tables on the Oilers and their rambunctious fans. 6.5 to go in regulation. It's 4-3 for Edmonton in the blue jerseys. Dustin Penner angling in, but offside. Anaheim on the rush. It was 4-0 Edmonton, and it looked like the Oilers were free and clear until these.
The mighty Ducks come roaring back. A shot from the point by O'Donnell, then the nice, pretty move by Teemu Selanne, and then this one by Chris Kunitz right after an Edmonton timeout that was taken because Dwayne Roloson snagged the puck off of the goal line and had just saved a goal. Edmonton was in panic mode. McTavish takes the timeout. It didn't help. Right off the faceoff, the Ducks score their 3rd goal.
And when we slice it up into thirds, as you just saw, all those fireworks in the third period. Green throttles it back into the Anaheim zone. The marvelous skater Scott Niedermayer with that beautiful open pivot. Back skating, skating. In that forward direction, this is an icing call. Teemu Selanne has helped the comeback for the Ducks here in the third period in a building where his idol played. Teemu Selanne of Finnish descent, Jari Kurri, number 17. When Teemu was a kid, Neil, he used to run around and wear that Oilers sweater and the number 17 very proudly.
And Jari Kurri, still in the country of Finland, is the national hero of a hockey icon. Teemu Selanne, who played for a team called Jokerit, who has the symbol of the card clown, the clown that's on the Joker.
Ryan Smith lowering the shoulder there, and Ilya Bryzgalov. Bryzgalov had only faced 6 shots in the third period prior to that backhand stuff, and he's been beaten 3 times.
But you really can't blame him, as I'm sure you're not. Ilya Bryzgalov was there was an onslaught of pucks coming towards him. Take a look at this last opportunity. Jumps over Niedermayer's stick. Ryan Smith tries to do the wraparound, but Bryzgalov is there holding the fort.
You know, the one thing that Commissioner Bettman was interested to see during the year, no lead was ever safe in the new NHL, and that has been proven tonight.
And that's what makes hockey and all sports exciting, if you can't predict the winner at any time during a game. That was Cal Nichols, the president of the Edmonton Oilers, sitting beside the commissioner.
Oh, Pisani! A beautiful deep to score!
While the Edmonton native has excited his faithful here at the Rexall place, he jumps through, grabs his puck, gets through Beauchemin, gets through everybody. Now the culprit on this is you've got to tie this man up. Everybody just goes by Pisani. He grabs the puck and goes in and does the great move on Bryzgalov, similar to the move that he did on Legacy in the first round when you saw him take it, put it to his backhands, and put it through the legs of Legacy. But that one is a huge goal for Edmonton.
That could be the backbreaker after the Ducks rallied from the 4-0 deficit to make it 4-3. They have a 2-goal hill to climb now with 5.5 to go in the third. Chris Kunitz short-siding and blocked by guess who? Fernando Pisani. He was saying it was off the rink. The officials allow play to continue. O'Donnell's one-timer is shanked. Kunitz was knocked down. Ducks wanted a call, none coming. Soleil in a point position. In the attack territory, Lupul there with Steos. Joffrey Lupul around the advances of Pekka. Kunitz for Lupul again. Anaheim trailing 2 games to none in the series, and by 2 goals here in the third. Kunitz bombs away, and he missed everything off the defender. Samsonov strong on the puck, and Sergei Samsonov will clear.
Well, Ruslan Soleil again had the puck stolen from him at the point. He didn't want to have what happened to him with Michael Pekka earlier in the period, where Pekka knocked down his shot and went all the way down for that big goal.
Mighty Ducks in possession with Marchand. Just off the bench, it's Penner. That was rolling. A backhand chance that was sent wide. As Beauchemin sees fit to get up front and get along that goal line now offensively from his backline position. An Anaheim team which beat Calgary in 7, which swept Colorado in 4, is in danger of falling behind 3 games to none in the Western Conference Final on OLN. Beauchemin looking for Selanne. No running room. Penner regrouping. Morrow muddying up the water for the Oilers, who will gladly play dump and chase now. This one has a little bit too much starch in it.
Puck, the Anaheim team has changed all their players.
At home ice, the Oilers, it should be mentioned, their center gets to put his stick down last. Stoll, top 5 in the league, didn't win that draw cleanly. Rolison's going to give him another chance to work here in the defensive end.
Rolison comes out and grabs that puck in behind the net, and the referee says it's okay for where he put his glove on the puck. A winning draw by Anaheim keeps the pressure on the Oilers. Rob Niedermayer gets it back to the point, and Ruslan Saleh does get this shot through. And you see Rolison, who's so good at snuffing out those pucks, reaches back, and although the puck didn't even go on net, he still smothers the rebound.
Number 35 has faced 35 shots tonight. Handled all but 3 without a flaw. And is now protecting a 5-3 advantage with less than 4 to go in the third. Game 4 of this series on OLN, 8 o'clock Eastern Time Thursday. We'll be right back in position. Will Edmonton have the chance to advance, or does Anaheim assure us of a Game 5? Dustin Penner. Stopped by Mike Pekka. Saleh for Solani. On its bumpy way right to Pronger. And the big blue liner waltzes with it through center to clear. Let's go Oilers once more from the sellout crowd at Rexall Place. Penner backhands through the crease. Horkoff picks it up in stride, and then it was Scott Niedermayer closing ranks. 3 minutes with which to work for the Ducks. Spot check through the seam, and Ryan Smith to clear. Craig McTavish keeping the line shift short. Scott Niedermayer hustles back through center. Kunitz striding in. Deep slot Getzlaf. Backhander. Saved by Rolison. Not cleared. Beauchemin. Getzlaf one-timer. That hit traffic in front. This time it will be skated to safety by Sergei Samsonov. Samsonov again carving down the wing. A centering feed that was punched out of the air. 2:25 to go in the third. Joffrey Lupul hits the gas. Lupul right on in. Trying to bank it off of Rolison, who just stayed with him long enough. O'Donnell with Saleh calling for it. Lupul behind the goal. Sneak attack off the outside of the post. Kunitz reels it in for Anaheim. The Ducks need 2 to tie. They've got 2 minutes to go. Saleh keeps pounded there by Murray. And the Oilers will get it out. The captain doing the honors. It'll be another icing call, but the Edmonton fans don't worry.
Joffrey Lupul with a couple of chances around the cage. Tried to stuff it once, tried to bank it off of Dwayne Rolison. This is a pretty move here on Chris Pronger. Goes right around him, and then the hook. And that might be what he's screaming about, Rem Murray's hook, because once he did get his stick free, tried to put it off the back of Rolison, but there was a definite hooking motion there by Rem Murray that he got away with.
Teemu Solani takes position and wins the draw back for Scott Niedermayer. Deflection score! It's washed out immediately! It was washed out immediately! The Ducks are saying it's in! The Ducks are saying it's in! It was deflected towards the roof of the goal. All of the white sweaters had hands raised, and the official washed it out quickly. That is referee Brad Watson.
Let's take a look at this and see what you think. Hard to tell from that angle, but I think it went up into the back of the net into where the pipes meet. The quick little snap, deflected twice. It hits the camera right there. We might get a great look at this from our own goal cam. The great work of our staff. Let's see. Oh boy, that had to either hit the camera or somebody's nervous on the toggle.
Jeez,
under
guys,
the stands.
can't you keep it in focus? Come on.
Yeah, it reminds me of the goal of Asa Tikkanen. Joe, in the 1997 playoffs, we were playing the Florida Panthers down in Florida, and Asa Tikkanen took a big slap shot. It hit the camera, came out so fast they didn't count it, but on further review, they could see that it did hit the camera. This is why Rolison doesn't move. After that puck goes in, Rolison reacts knowing that it was in the net. Look, Rolison doesn't react. If that thing had hit the crossbar, and he doesn't react, Joe, because of sounds.
Right.
Because you become accustomed to the sound that a puck makes when it's hit the goal post at any point.
After the video review, plainly you can see that went in. Of course, I'm kidding about that focus comment because a lot of the times the puck hits that camera and destroys it. That one we got a great look, and it didn't cost us anything. Just an amazing third period. It's 5-4. 8 of the 9 goals in this last 20 minutes of play.
Well, it's been really amazing. Only 6 goals in the first 2 games by these clubs, 4 by the Oilers, 2 by the Ducks. In this period, we've had 8 goals alone. What a great period. Shots are now 37-22 for the Ducks, but the big number that means something, a minute 45 to go in this 1-goal lead for the Oilers.
1 minute 38 seconds to go. Todd Marchand, who won the draw, was the man who was hovering in front of the cage. We'll see who gets credited for the tying tally. Bryzgalov is on the bench. 6 attackers on for Randy Carlyle, as this one is off of the rink for a moment.
I don't know how that got off the rink, Joe. They're looking along the boards to find out as we take a look from the eye of the empty net. There's Bryzgalov on the bench, ready to go back into the net if he has to, if the faceoff gets into the neutral zone and Coach Carlyle decides that it's better to have the netminder back in the net. Weird bounce down in the Edmonton zone, causing this faceoff in the offensive zone. Now, Todd Marchand on the faceoff. Huge faceoff. He's been winning his draws consistently in the Oilers zone, but none were as important as this will be.
Against Jarrett Stoll. A scrum. Duck possession. Solani with 1:15 to go in the third. Anaheim needs 1 to force the extra session. In a highly unlikely way, they were trailing by 4 in the third. Penner whiffs on the one-timer. And it's sent back out of there all the way down. Niedermeyer chugging after it, touches it up for the icing call. 61 seconds to go in the third. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, who have never rallied back from much less a 2-goal deficit, so be it a 4-goal deficit, are trying to do just that tonight.
And Randy Carlyle has used his 1 timeout. Craig McTavish used it earlier in this third period. And now Randy Carlyle decides to invoke his right to have a 30-second timeout, gather his troops in, and figure out a game play in the offensive zone.
In-house, Neil, they've given Teemu Solani that 4th Duck goal. It's his 2nd of the game. We tell you that the quest for the cup continues as they draw up some strategy.
Well, I don't know how good you are at reading this stuff, Joe, but looks to me like they plan on taking possession of the puck.
That's a good bet. They'd like to.
It's a simple game.
See the alignment there. 51 would be Getzlaf, 27 would be Scott Niedermeyer. And a little pick play on an interchange perhaps for Teemu Solani to drift as an option for a 1-timer. That being drawn up at the bench with 61 seconds left.
It's been a great hockey game, Joe. Just a fantastic third period, and this has to give the Ducks a lot of hope that they can come back in this series, particularly if they ever get a goal here. This could be a huge turning point in this series. If they could tie this hockey game, it's going to be a totally new series.
There is life in this building. If the Oilers fans could, they'd throw the jersey on and be the 7th defender. It is 6-on-5 in front of Rolison. 55 seconds to go in the third period. Getzlaf keeps it in for just a moment. So too Dustin Penner. Those 2 young guns for Anaheim getting quality minutes here in a pressure-packed situation. Chris Pronger strides to it, and Pronger gets it out. 38 seconds to go. Scott Niedermeyer revolving back in with Marchand. Ladles it on. Penner's drive answered there. Rolison was ready. 28 seconds to play in the third. Teemu Solani looking for the hat trick. That one caroms wide. Getzlaf spreads to it. Marchand strokes it behind the goal. Solani back to the front for Penner. Backhand try. Niedermeyer. Penner was there! He couldn't get the backhand from his knees. 10 seconds left. Beauchemin slap pass. Getzlaf comes it up with Pekka. Mike Pekka golfs it out, and they'll bring you home in Edmonton.